This video tells the story of the year an empire decided to stop growing. At the time, the decision seemed smart. It was believed it would bring peace and preserve power, but that decision became the first step that triggered the empire's collapse years later. This video explains how that quiet ending was made, and everything began in the year when the empire was at its peak. That year, the empire stood at its height. Its borders had expanded and its armies had grown accustomed to winning. Victory was no longer surprising. Enemies were retreating, and new conquests seemed inevitable. The people believed they were safe. The treasury was full. For the first time, commanders and rulers began saying the same thing: we can stop now. This idea did not come from fear. On the contrary, it was born from confidence. Because everyone believed this, everything worth winning had already been won. Then a critical decision was made. New conquests were halted. The army was pulled back into defense. Resources were redirected toward internal order and stability. This decision was not presented as a step backward. On the contrary, it was framed as a mature and wise choice. Peace, balance, and control were brought to the forefront. But history has shown us this again and again. When an empire stops, the world does not. While the empire stood still, its enemies did not. Retreating armies regrouped. New alliances were formed. New leaders emerged. The empire, meanwhile, turned inward. The army slowly lost its discipline. The economy began to weaken without expansion. The sense of victory gave way to complacency. The danger did not appear in a single day. It was quiet. It moved slowly, but it did not stop. Years later, the balance shifted. Enemies who once retreated were now attacking. The empire was on the defensive. That year's decision was still being defended, but it was already too late. Stopping had provided short-term relief, but in the long run it led to a loss of power. Halting expansion did not preserve strength. It gave time to its rivals. History whispers this to us. Sometimes the most dangerous moment is when you feel the strongest. This empire did not fall because it lost a war. It fell because it stopped moving forward at the right time. The calendar changed. A decision was made, and history remembered that year as the beginning of the end.